Hey everybody, it's Lord Giarth once again here with Asmodea City, and wanted to talk today a bit about a module and premium module that is just amazing. And you're kind of going to be amazed by some of the things you see here, but I'm kind of focusing today on one thing, and that is the organization of this particular module. And we're talking about Baileywiki, Baileywiki Premium Modules. If you're not already a patron of Baileywiki, please consider being that. I don't make any money off of it, and I just want you to know about it because it's amazing. And it will give you some incredible power to create scenes, maps, even bring in specific tokens and certain things, tiles and things that just make your maps incredible. So we're going to talk about Baileywiki and most specifically about the organization of the prefabs of Baileywiki today. And we're going to do that right after this. Hey, everybody. Wanted to introduce you to something new. So I'm going to just type it in here. Shop. Oh, you can see I've been there before. And here we are. Asmodeah now has its own shop. It is new, at least at the moment of this recording. So you'll notice we've got a few things in here, and we're starting to grow as we can, as much as we can. I am planning an awful lot of dice options, and I know you're only seeing really 5 options here, but if you kind of take a deeper dive, you'll see that we have lots of different options in some of these selections that you can see, and some of these dice are just so cool. So for those that are, and I have this liquid infused dice as well. These are so cool because when you shake them, that liquid works inside to kind of sparkle, and it is balanced. So it doesn't it doesn't cause the dice to kind of flip or roll in an odd way. So we have all sorts of different types of dice. They even come with these neat tin canisters for some of them. And I also am putting in more of the books. Certainly more of the D&D books are coming in here. And we each actually have gift cards. So if you're looking for a gift for your gamer, feel free. You can purchase one of the gift cards. We'll even send them if you click on here, send them a personalized message to go along with your gift card. So take a look at the new Asmodea, boy, I can't even speak, Asmodea shop, and watch it grow, because it will be growing by leaps and bounds here in the coming weeks and days. So enjoy, everyone. Hope to see you there. Hope you can support us. It'd be awesome. Thanks so much. All right, everybody. Welcome back. And again, I'm Lord Giarth with Asmodea City. Welcome here. If you are not already subscribed, please consider subscribing to our channel. Help us out and hit that like button and obviously the subscribe button. And do send us comments about some of the information that you see here. I'm totally open to, and for those of you that follow my channel, you'll see that I tend to respond as quickly as I can to as many of the comments that we actually get. Now, I'm going to leave links to some of this information down below in the description. So take a look at that when you get an opportunity. I will be also setting up some of the time markers and the channel, chapter markers for you to kind of jump around if you'd like to. But I highly kind of recommend this. This will be a little long one, just so you know, but I'm going to recommend that you kind of take a look at this entire video, because I think you're going to see some stuff that just makes your life so much easier and so much cooler in so many different ways. So let's jump into this. You're looking right now at a landing page that I have created for one of my teams, and this happens to be Team 1. And in this kind of landing page, you're going to see all of these different kind of, there's like journal links, so they can kind of jump directly to the journal links. So for example, the Town Master's notice board, if they want to see what's on that, and you're looking at it in my view, my GM view. So some of the stuff is either hidden, and you'll see that because it says reveal if I want to do that. And by the way, That's made possible by using the Monk's Enhanced Journal. It's just incredible what you can do with that as well. But I'm not going to get into the detail about that today. I just kind of wanted to give you some idea of what's here. We actually even have like the Sword Coast map. If we want to look at the Sword Coast map, or players want to look at the Sword Coast map, they can do that. That's kind of where they are right now. Their adventure journal is actually here as well. They have a wagon where they have a bunch of stuff kind of stored in the wagon, and you'll see kind of all the stuff that they have here. Some of which is kind of linked up, so you can kind of click on it and go, oh, boom, immediately, what is that item that's there? So that's kind of this is part of Baileywiki. Baileywiki landing page. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to zoom in on you there. Bailewiki's landing page options are really incredible. I've edited them a little bit here, so you can you can tell I've got some customized stuff here as well. But then we go back. If they wanted to jump into the current adventure, whatever that is, they can jump into that there, and then shops that are available. So if they want to go to the Stonehill Inn, they can go here. And again, this is part of Monk's Enhanced Journal, and you'll see that up here in the top. That gives them the ability to literally get into some of these shops and either make an option to, make an offer to purchase and get in from there. So let's actually kind of jump into one of the scene areas, and I'm going to go just kind of into the Phandalin Town Square. And I can tell you that everything that you see here is part of the Baileywiki module system. And you'll notice there are some of these buildings that kind of look like, hey, they're transparent at the top. Well, that's because these are multi-level buildings. And if I click on one of my characters here, one of my tokens here, and I'm just going to drag that token over, and I'm going to bring it up inside to walk inside this particular area, which is the town inn. And actually, let me turn on, I'm going to turn on my sounds. Yeah, let me turn them up a little bit. So you can hear that when these people walk in, and actually I'm going to turn on my little patrol option here, and you'll see that this bar wench is going to start kind of walking around doing so. Oh, wait, nope, she can't because it's paused. Anyway, there we go. So now that it's unpaused, you'll notice she'll start walking around kind of randomly in this area that I've got drawn for her. But if you, let me zoom in kind of on this, you'll see that there is a wench that's walking around. She's walking in, and you'll see because you're looking at it in my view, my GM view, the area that she walks around in is kind of bounded by this box of drawings that I've got selected here. But this area is created, and this is a prefabricated city. And what's cool is that you can literally replace some of these buildings that are in here, and you can, so if I take my character over and I want to go, I could see my Captain G character right there. He's actually in his room right there. There's another room that's right here, and you can walk inside this room. You can close these doors. I'm going to close one of them here and close it, and then you can lock it if you want to. And so I just lock that area off. So I'm just kind of showing you this to kind of give you an idea of some of the things that you can do with the Baileywiki module. But what I'm really talking about today is the organization of some of this stuff. And I'm assuming you can probably hear, let me turn it up a little bit more. You can hear the ambiance that's going on inside the building here. Just, people that this particular person can hear. Let me bring her outside, and I'm going to walk outside. You can hear that goes away. And her view, this, roof kind of reappears when she walks out of the building. And then let me go over here, and we've got David Shire. And now you're going to start hearing the sounds of what's happening in the center of town. There's actually, that's a hidden horse that's right there that I probably should take off of there, but I did it just because I didn't want to get rid of it. But like, for example, the shrine up here, when you walk over towards it, you're going to start hearing, now you hear that ominous kind of, sound that's going on through here in the shrine. And then if I move her back down, you'll hear that this is the sound of the townspeople that are going on inside. All right, so I'm just kind of showing you some of the cool things that are available from the Baileywiki module, and you can see these banners that are here. And what's kind of actually really interesting is if I turn up the time to some time where it's actually dark in here. Let me get the darkness there. Now, when it starts to get dark in this area, some of the lighting in this area will appear. And again, this is all part of what's actually created. And I'm going to turn this back down just so I don't screw up their town. You can see that there are some really cool effects that you can make, top-down effects that you can make. And I'm going to show you one more. Let me bring her down here. And I'm going to bring you into the Lion Shield Coster, sorry. And so now let me kind of zoom in on this here. And you can see we've got Lenine standing over here on the side. She's the proprietor of this area. This is the Lion Shield Coster area. So you can see that these are multi-level, and I'm going to drag her out. So there. Now you can see there are some really cool things that you can do with this. Now, this kind of sign that's here is a tile that I just kind of got from the Baileywiki tiles that are available. And when I click on it, and if I click on, I think I need to double click, there we go. It'll open up the Lion Shield Coster shop. And again, this is part of Monk's Enhanced Journal. These are all the different kind of items that are available to purchase in the store, and things that have been sold to her as well, which is actually very cool. But that's for another time. All right. So now that I've kind of shown you what Baileywiki does in terms of some of the things that it has available to you, I wanted to show you some of the kind of organization of this. Now, because this becomes, I know that especially when you get a module and you get a bunch of different artwork, that it can become a little daunting in terms of where things are. Where do I find stuff? How do I know where, what's available? How do I know what's new, what's not so new, whatever. There's a bunch of different things that happen, and you're kind of, it's a little bit daunting to try to find some of that stuff. So I'm going to try to kind of demystify some of that, especially specifically on the prefabs here for Baileywiki. Now, I've created this folder, and part of Baileywiki's recommended and actually in this case really almost required installation list of modules is a module called compendium folders. And I know you guys have seen this in some of my other videos. It really allows you to create these folders along the side here in whatever way you want, and then organize them in whatever way you want, which is so much better than having a ginormous list of a bunch of stuff that you'd have to dig through to try to figure out like what's what. So what I did is I created this Baileywiki folder, and inside it I created these subfolders to kind of break out the different items that Baileywiki has. Now I'm going to focus specifically today on some of the prefabs, and that's going to be under actors. Now, why would that be under actors? You might ask, why actors? Why not, items or tiles or scenes or whatever? Because the prefabs are literally prefabricated groups of tiles, but then have a token, which has to be an actor, right, in Foundry. The token represents that particular prefab, so that when we want to go move it around or kind of change some of the information about it, then we use the token to make that happen. So let me turn off this stuff. I'm going to get a bunch of beeps and stuff. All right, there we go. So now we're not having to worry about the system effects that I've got going on here. So now looking in here under actors, you can see I've got all of these different kind of prefabs that are set up on this side. And I put, you'll notice all of them are actors. You can see actor, 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 all here. And if I kind of close that out and I go under items, you'll see here's the item ones, here's the journal entries, here's macros, here's playlists, and so on. But we're just going to kind of focus today on the prefabs. And so that's going to be here under actors. Now, what's really kind of important about this, and I'm literally doing this in real time. So right now I have in my system the April 2023. That's well, I'm recording this in May of 2023, but the April 2023 release of the Baileywiki product. And let me show you why that's kind of important. What's important about that is you'll notice this one prefab compendium here. And I'm sorry, I didn't kind of point out that I'm under compendium packs here. By the way, if these look kind of different to you, these icons at the top, that's because I'm using a module that just changes the look of them, but they're all the same. I mean, there's nothing different about these other than the icons that represent them. So when I look at compendium packs here, then I come down to actors, obviously, and you'll see this one here that is prefab 00 new content. And let me open that up real quick. And we're going to jump over to the left side here. And you'll see that in this prefabs release for new content, and it's specifically new content, right? This is the release for April of 2023. Now, they did a bunch of really cool kind of orcish prefabs and presets here that are really amazing in these things. But what you'll notice about this is that the numbers are 02, 03, and 05, right? And you might ask, like, well, why is it 02, 03, and 05 when maybe it should be 1, 2, and 3? Well, because these numbers, the 02, for example, are corresponding to, and if we zip over to the right-hand side here, they correspond to this prefabs 02 nature compendium folder for Baileywiki. So the 02 on the left corresponds to the 02 on the right. Now, all of the new content is really kind of in this compendium folder so that you can focus on that new content. So when you're looking at it, when they release a new release, that the new stuff is always going to be in this 00 new content prefabs folder, compendium folder to be exact. So that way, at least you know where it is. But number two, you actually know also where it's going to go in the next month. And we're going to do an update here in just a second. I'm doing this live actually on my server, which is kind of cool. And actually, let me pause the server just so nobody else jumps in and does anything while we're here. But the 02 is going to, all of the stuff in 02, this tile sets kind of stuff here is going to jump over on the right-hand side to the 02 nature prefabs 02 nature compendium folder in the following month. So that's where you will find this new stuff, in this case for April. In May, which we're going to update here in just a second too, you'll notice that in May, that's all going to jump over there. So every month when they release something new, and they release it every month, they will put it in this new content folder so that you can just kind of focus on like what's new in this particular month. And you'll see there's like new tile sets, there's decor, there's all kinds of stuff. Now, I'm a huge fan of Baileywiki, and I can tell you I use Baileywiki all the time for all kinds of different things. Again, I don't make any money off of it, so if you go in and become a patron, and I highly recommend that you do, this kind of stuff is available to you as a premium patron. So it makes it so much cooler. So again, you can see 02, 03, 05. Those are going to move to the appropriate, and if we look over here on the right, 02, 03, and 05, that's where this new stuff is going to move to. All right. And one other thing I'm going to point out to you, because this is kind of important when you're getting things kind of set up on your server. You don't need to overload your server with things. Obviously, we're always concerned about performance when it comes to some of this stuff. So importing things that you don't really need to import is kind of important. You want to make sure that you kind of limit the number of things that you import. However, there are some things that we want to, specifically with Baileywiki, we want to have installed, but we don't necessarily have to have them imported or even turned on for that matter. And I'm going to prove this to you right now. I'm going to go up here to setup, or its settings, I should say, and I'm going to go to manage modules. And I have tons of modules, and I'm not going to go into all the detail on those right now. I'm starting to play around with the 3D canvases, which is so cool. and I'll be doing a video about that pretty soon. But you'll notice here, right here in the Baileywiki area, you'll see I have Modular City 01 or the District 01 turned on, and that's kind of required. You need to have that one turned on so that that way it's a module that is installed and turned on in your particular world. Now, of course, modules are, and I did a whole video on modules. I'll put a little kind of card up here in the top right for you to link to if you want to take a look at that. But there is a whole module about, or a whole video about modules and what they are and why they, how you turn them on and how do you install them and all that. But you'll notice that I have this Baileywiki Modular City District 01 turned on. Now, the others, however, the 02, 03, 04, and 05, I do not have them turned on, nor do I need to. As long as they are installed in the server, then they are available to Baileywiki's software to be able to access them. So again, you don't need to turn these on. You don't even need to import them. Just make sure that they're installed as a Baileywiki Premium content patron. You'll want to have those installed and ready to go so that some of these things happen. Now, how do we know what's kind of required here? And I'm going to show you something else. Let me close this out. And I'm going to go back to compendium folders, and I'm going to go into this nature one, and the one that we had just shown. Now you'll notice that there is this one that says terrain tiles, and I'm going to click on that only because I kind of know what to expect here. So I've obviously kind of researched this, and you'll see that there is this one folder that says City 05, but it's in parentheses. And what that indicates is that in order to use any of the content that's in this folder, you need to have the City 05 district installed. Again, let me open up this. I'm just going to make sure I kind of point this out. Yeah, you'll notice if I go back up here, you'll notice that there's this Modular City District 05 affluent that's here, but it's not turned on. But it is required to be installed in order for you to use any of the tiles over in this compendium folder. I'm going to show you one other one as well. Let me close this out. And I'm going to close this one out as well. And I'm going to go back to my compendium folders, and I'm going to show you, I think it's the, I think it's the furnishings one. So if I go here to furnishings, you'll notice here's one that's called Ruins City 04. And that City 04 is in parentheses. What's important about that, and by the way, I just so you know, this is something I already know about through Baileywiki. Up here at the top, you'll see animated and in parentheses Gorgon. Gorgon makes some amazing. If you're not a patron of his, you should be. He makes some amazing animations. But actually, we're going to change this. Baileywiki, I should say, is going to change this to where this is not in parentheses because Gorgon does not need to be installed for you to use these animated items that are inside this. It just, for whatever reason, they had put it in parentheses. But in this particular case, this City 04 down here for ruins, and so if I open this up and you see all the ruins that are available in this area here, in order for you to use these, you need to have the City 04 module installed. But you don't, and I know I'm harping on this, but I'm doing it because I don't know who's jumping around from chapter marker to chapter marker. Again, I'm going to say just because it's in parentheses doesn't mean you have to have it installed and turned on or activated as a module or even imported. You don't need that. All you need to do is make sure that it's installed in your server. It doesn't matter if it's actually turned on or if it's even imported. So again, sorry for harping on that, but I don't know who's jumping around. So I want to make sure that that's super clear. Okay, so now, oh, by the way, you'll notice that in some of these, we'll see this kind of remastered. When we look at remastered, some of these items are actually kind of rebuilt using some new technology sometimes from Baileywiki, which is really cool. So if we want to like update, some of the prefabs that we're using and they've been updated in some way, you'll see these remastered options are here. So you could, drag those out and replace what you've already got or kind of update things if you need to. All right, so now I'm going to close this out. Now, you'll see, again, we have this prefabs 00 new content with nature prefabs, furnishings and special prefabs, and other sets prefabs here in this folder. Now I'm going to close this, and I'm going to go back now. I'm going to literally leave my server. I'm going to go close this world out completely, and I'm going to go back to my setup, to the main setup for my server. And once we get there, there it goes. Okay. Once we get there, get this critical error, and I know what it is, and I just need to clear it. So I'm going to go to add-in modules or add-on modules, and I'm going to just do a quick update now. So one word of warning, please heed this warning. Please, I'm telling you, it will save you tons of pulling your hair out. Your hair will stay in your head if you heed what I'm about to tell you. Please back up your server. Back up your server files before you do any major updates, especially before you do any full-on server updates of Foundry. But back that data up. And I've already done that, so I'm safe here, so I don't have to worry about that. But I can tell you, if you don't back things up and something gets screwed up in one of these modules or in the world or with, you know, the if you update even the play system like D&D 5 or what have you, you will have no way to go back unless you have that backup. So please make sure that you back up your system files. Okay, enough of that. Enough of warning you on that. So now I'm just going to go ahead under this add-on modules here, and I'm going to click Update All. Now you're going to see a bunch of stuff that's going to get updated here because I have a ton of modules, and I know that there's a few that have been updated. But one that I know is going to be updated here is going to be Baileywiki, which I think it's probably doing right now because it's doing a lot of downloading at this point in time. So there's a bunch of stuff you're going to see kind of popping up here. But and again, you can do these updates individually if you want to. Yeah, that was Baileywiki 3D. There we go. Landing pages. Some of the other stuff is popping up here in the top. But I know that a bunch of these updates are things that I actually did want to do. So, but again, you can do them individually if you want to. You can click on the right here in the update button for each individual module. If you just want to update them individually, you can certainly do it that way. It's just this update all kind of does all the modules at one time. All right, so let's see. Are we getting close to being done here? Nope, looks like we got a few more to go. One thing that I will kind of mention to you is that for those of you and again, I did this whole video on what are modules and like how do you install them, how do you uninstall them, you know, where do you get them and what have you. Some of these obviously are available to you as regular kind of JSON files that you would get a URL for. And when that happens, there will be individual JSON files that you'll use to install them, as opposed to kind of going into the Foundry world and kind of picking what modules you want to find in the world here. Yeah, so you can see, all right, so here we are. We're done. And you can see all of these things have now been updated for me. And a lot of that is Baileywiki, which is awesome. So I know that I already know about some of these updates, and they're really amazing what's coming on now. So now what I've done is I've actually updated to the 2023 March edition for Baileywiki. So I'm just going to go ahead and say okay to that. And then I'm going to go back to my game world and I'm going to launch it. I'm going to launch the Team 1 world. And so now my server is on an AWS Linux installation. So yours may be different. If yours is on Windows, if it's on your laptop or your desktop or whatever computer, then it'll be a little different way for you to do backups. But in general, again, you want to make sure before you do any of these updates that you do backups. And I've already done that, so I don't need to worry about that. So, all right, so this will take a second to load up just because it's got a bunch of new stuff in it, and it's gonna, it's now kind of fixing up the database for things that need to be installed. All right, so here we go. So now we're loading back up the landing page, and I'm not going to even worry about jumping into another map right now. But what I am going to do is I'm going to come over to the compendium packs. And I'm going to look at Baileywiki again, and I'm going to go to actors, and I'm going to again go into this 00 new content compendium folder. And when I click on that, see, now you'll notice those are totally different, right? Because these are the new items that have been released this month, in May of 2023, which is when I'm recording this. And so now all of this new stuff that's in here, and again, you'll see this like under this tile packs, we've got City 01, which means City 01 needs to be installed. City 01 does need to be turned on, by the way, but all the rest of them don't necessarily need to be turned on. So let me see okay. So we've got City 05 for the Dwarvish and Elvish items that have been added here. Portals and doors, cool. Tile packs we already looked at. Plot hooks, we've got, that's decor. We've got a bunch of these things. So these other, again, I know I'm harping on this, but I'm doing it because I don't know who's jumping around from place to place. But again, that parentheses means that the module for Baileywiki City 01 district needs to be installed and does not, City 01 does need to be turned on, but City 04 and City 05 does not need to be turned on, and it doesn't even need to be imported. It just needs to be installed on your server. Okay, sorry. I know for those of you that are watching this all the way through, I've said that about 100 times, but I'm saying it because I don't know who's jumping around at this point in time. All right, so now we've got all these new things, and if I go back over here to the right, and I go over to, I'm going to go to nature over here, and I'm going to go to terrain tiles. You can see this City 05 one that was originally in the new prefabs compendium folder is now over here in this folder here for the prefabs 02 nature. So that's where those things move to. Modular buildings. What do you? The magic tower rooms. Oh, how cool! I'm working on the magic tower right now, so that's so cool that this has come up. All right, so that's kind of the organization of Baileywiki prefabs and essentially where they go. Now, I am going to do one quick thing that I kind of wasn't going to do before, but I think I'm going to do it anyway. So here is a scene that I've created that's called Stables Test. You'll see at the top. And let me zoom in on this. So what are prefabs for Baileywiki, right? So here I've got Gendon, and everybody knows Gendon. So if I kind of walk him around, and let me walk him over here to the here's the actual stables, the stalls, and you can open these individual stalls up. So this is a prefab that is created for a stable, right? So you could put this in a map, and you could put maybe an arena for your horses to be in, or whatever on the outside. There's a door right here. If I walk inside, you can see there's a sorry, I clicked on the wrong thing, and should have opened that door. And then if I look over here and I open this up, there's somebody's desk and those sort of things. So this is obviously just kind of a stable house, right? So now, there we go. I'm going to get rid of Gendon altogether. All right. So now, how do prefabs work? Now you'll notice way over here on this side, and I'm going to just kind of zoom in on it. You'll notice there's a token right here, and it says stables right underneath it because I named it that when I found it. So this token controls, and I'm going to zoom out, where the placement of this particular prefab building is. Now, why is it way over here? Well, just because you can put it outside the map, so you don't even have to worry about really like hiding it, although I do anyway, just kind of, and if I zoom in on it, you'll see it's actually hidden right here. But you don't necessarily have to if it's literally off the map itself. Now you'll see, obviously, here are the boundaries of my map, and this is off to the side. But what if I want to like move this building around, this entire prefab with walls, lights, everything already in it? I want to move that around. So all I do is I grab this token and I move it, and you can see the building is actually moving around, right? So that's the reason why we kind of, put it way off to the side, because you don't need it to be, and I guess I'll give you a little, small look at token attacher, although I have a whole video about token attacher. If I edit the quick mode, if I turn on quick mode for token attacher, I could move this token, like, let's say right here, and put it right next to the building. And now I'm going to turn off the token attacher quick mode. So now if I move this around, you can see the building moves around with it. But having it here is kind of, for you, especially as a GM, is kind of like in the way. It just doesn't need to be here. So let me turn the quick edit mode back on. I'm going to move this way over here, and then I'm going to turn it off. And so now we just don't have this token sitting right inside our map. So we don't have to see it as a GM. So I can literally, start moving this thing around and doing things basically to move things around as I wish. Now, let me show you I'm going to show you the Western District right here. So now, again, if you look over here on these sides, you'll see these little dots, right? And it says, oh, town map, which is actually something over there. And here's the woodworker, and here's logs. So, for example, these logs that are just kind of, let me zoom in on these logs that are kind of sitting here. If I want to move them around, you can see I can move them, and I can do whatever I want. They're there. And again, if this is, I know this is kind of just right on the edge of the map, so it kind of really doesn't matter. But if I wanted to, I could use token attacher, turn on the quick edit, move this token way far away from that, and then I'll turn off token attacher. And now if I move this around, you'll see that it pops in and out of wherever it is that I want to have it be. So that's kind of why we do all of those things, and how you manage these prefabs, so that you know that you don't have these weird tokens kind of flying around all over your map that just kind of get in your way and make it more difficult to actually work on and see. So okay, so you don't have to break these all out into separate folders if you don't want. I did that just to make it easy for me. But if you want, and they're like full-on scenes that are here, there's like complete city scenes that you can go to. Like here's a slums and ruins set of scenes, and you can literally kind of go in and find a specific scene that you want, and you can literally import that scene, and then boom, it's like out of the box working. It's so cool to be able to do that. And it can give you inspiration, and you can tweak them. You can change them and do what you want to those things, but it just makes it so much cooler to be able to kind of drag stuff in or import things in and just kind of drop them in, and boom, they're in and ready and working and ready to go. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up. Been a little long on this one. Thanks everybody for listening and watching. I really appreciate it. Again, if you're not a patron of Baileywiki, I highly recommend it. The links will be down in the description below. I think trust me, if you are looking for some of the coolest stuff out there, a lot of this artwork is coming from some of the best artists around. It's just amazing. And most of these things are literally drag and drop. So you've got lighting, walls, sounds, all kinds of things already built in and ready to go right out of the box. And if you're not a subscriber to us, please consider subscribing and hit that subscribe button. Do smash that like button if you like this video. Leave us comments as well. And the last thing I will tell you is make sure that if you haven't already, join us on our Discord channel. And you're going to see that is discord.asmodeah.com. Now, that is a browser URL. It is not a Discord URL. So when you click on it, it's going to take you to a page that allows you to open up Discord and then add yourself to our server. We'd love to see you over there, especially if you have comments, questions, helping out new players. If you're an experienced player, that's awesome. If you're a new player and want information, start asking questions. It's really super. I also wanted to make sure that you knew about, and you probably already seen the little advertisement about our new shop, which is our Asmodeah shop as well. That's there. So that's it. I'm going to wrap it up, and I'm going to say, as always, when you're adventuring, be careful, be safe, and be kind. Peace.